LimeVibe from every line, from every vibe. LimeVibe from every life, from every vibe. LimeVibe. LimeVibe.
Night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yuri Kemp, the host with the most, back from our Easter holiday break, along with my beautiful Miss Kimberly Ramkalawan, my co-host from Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing, Kim?
I'm doing fine, Yuri. How are you?
All is good, man. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get my deep bass voice together, my radio voice. How are you, Kim? Yeah, I'm tired of sounding like a little pipsqueak. I did a selfie video of myself singing a gospel song, "You Remain," and I sounded so weak. I wanted to take the video down, Kim, because I sounded so weak and so pipsqueaky. But I said, some praise has no tone. Praise has no tone. So I kept it up. But I listened to it, and I kind of cringe when I hear my voice. It sounded like this nasally pipsqueak, man. And I'm not a nasally pipsqueak. I'm a pretty big guy. So when you hear the voice and when you see me, like, what, is that you? Yeah, that's me. That's me. So I'm trying some more. The tips you tell me, speak from your stomach. So I'll try my best tonight, Kim.
It takes a lot of practice, even myself. All of us who have been in the industry for many years, it takes, you have to renew yourself when it comes to pulling that deep voice. Because if you go from your natural voice to, the reason why they train our voices is that you're able to carry it on air for a number of hours straight, and you're not gasping for air. Just like we continuously speak for an hour, you want to be able to carry your voice, and you want to be able for your words to be heard clearly.
Yes.
And I think that's why they do voice training for people who are in the media. And you sound a little bit more professional, of course.
Yeah, you sound more sultry.
Yeah, you don't sound nasal. You don't sound, childish. Your voice all high and
Yes. But I'm a Bush journalist, though. You're the trained person here. I'm just picking up on this. I'm just seeing the play. I'm not trained. I'm not a trained journalist, man.
But you've jumped into the deep waters, and you have to get there.
Yeah, we're gonna get there though. With your help and God willing, we're gonna get there, Kim. But I'm practicing right now, actually. I hope I sound a bit different. Hi, good night, ladies. Because when I go to the club as well, when I pick up women, I don't want to sound like, hey, I don't want to sound like, hey, how are you? That's how I want to.
The deeper voice that usually grabs women's attention.
Yes. So that Elizabeth Holmes girl from Theranos, they said that she fakes her voice. And because she found that the deep voice makes women sound, or makes her sound more competent, so people could trust her a bit more. So she uses a deeper voice. Because in her real life, she doesn't have that deep voice. Elizabeth Holmes. Isn't that what a scam artist is she, isn't she?
So, I remember working in my newsroom. So sometimes you'd walk into the newsroom. Us reporters, we're very lighthearted people, I would think. We make jokes quite often just to help take the edge off our serious business of carrying the news, telling the news. You walk into the newsroom and you're probably still carrying your news voice, and you say something to and say, "Oh, Kim has on that deep voice," because the deep voice is on people. You better pay attention.
Yeah, that's serious business then. A serious business, Kim.
Yeah, so they're listening to you, what you're saying a little more. Actually, in my field here in Trinidad, I've actually been chastised for my voice. Not chastised in the sense I've been critiqued. They say a lot of people don't like my tone of voice. They say it's too husky and it's too deep for a woman. They don't like it, and they're more in tune to the high-pitched, fine-tuned woman's voice. They think that sounds more feminine.
For the news?
Yes, for the news, for commentary. But I've learned to live with it, because when you hear the critique, you also hear the comments that people actually do like your voice. It's different. It stands out.
Yes.
You've got to embrace your uniqueness.
Yes. Nothing wrong with your voice, Kim. Nothing wrong with your fake deep voice. I like that, actually. It brings some prestige and some class to this seedy little podcast we have here. It brings us up. brings the level up.
Yes, Yuri Camp.
Yes. So, what's been happening with you, Mom? How was your Easter weekend? How did you celebrate?
My
How was
Easter week was very interesting. I told you that my family observed the Passover for Christians,
Mhm.
for believers in Yeshua, according to the pamphlet that we followed, and a rabbi that we actually followed in observing the Passover
Mhm.
and thanking God for blessings. And it's deep. It's actually rooted in First Corinthians, where it speaks of having to observe the feast going
Yes.
forward with unleavened bread. I would have
Mhm.
shared that verse over the weekend. I think I had posted something on Facebook and Instagram.
Mhm.
So it was a new experience for me as a Christian believer and a child of God, and seeing the whole reason for keeping it, observing it,
Mhm.
and for blessings over your family and things like that. And
Okay.
it's a cleansing as well over your household. So my aunt led this, and we decided we were supporting her. But I believe it was an entire learning experience for all of us.
Mhm.
It really taught us patience, definitely, because it's a long, it's an entire long ceremony, so to say.
Mhm.
Um, so we spent all evening uh, at the table listening and taking in the word and the significance of each symbol of the Passover Seder. So
Okay.
that's how I
Okay.
spent my Good Friday.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. At least you got to spend it with your family, you know. That's cute. I enjoy that. Yeah, I love that story. Anything unusual happened this year?
Unusual. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think I was telling you about the or traditions here in Trinidad, which is beating the bubbly.
Yeah. The bean, the bubbly, yeah. The bubbly, yeah.
This year it was a comeback from COVID restrictions,
Mhm.
crowds, and a family in Marval, North Trinidad, decided to host a wedding for Watson Duke
Yes.
Lava Kezel.
Oh,
Um,
goodness.
so they had the bubblies, and they actually had like a wedding set up under the tent, and
Mhm.
then they actually carried out the ceremony, and the entire village came out to witness the wedding, and it was all over social media. So I think that was our Trini humor this
Mhm.
Good Friday.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Getting past that COVID-19 and getting back into the rhythm of doing things the Trini way. That's good,
Yeah,
Kim. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. But I saw the picture with the bubbly with Watson Duke. I found it hilarious.
That was the most popular one this year. I did not look out to see what else was happening. I think
Mhm.
Tobago also had their Farley. All
Mhm.
those are Tobago characters, but it came across in Trinidad, and they're quite popular here as well.
Those two guys, they fell out, didn't they? Watson Duke and Farley Augustine.
Yes, they did. So there's a split there in their party,
Mhm.
and I think last week Farley Augustine decided that they were going to form their own party.
Yeah. See, that's the thing when you go up against these larger political parties, is either or. And if you try to present a third option, they're going to split you up one way or the other. And most likely another one of the major parties is behind that split. You know?
I wouldn't doubt it, but I would hope not.
Yeah.
It, Tobagonians actually they voted for you all in. It was a
Mhm.
landslide victory.
Mhm.
Would have been nice that you all would have kept the peace for that. And that's the thing about these parties.
Mhm.
Always an infighting.
Yeah.
Local talk here would say that it's a Tobago thing.
Mhm.
And they went to Lakota and they did something.
Mhm.
But we don't want to go there on regional television, regional
No.
broadcast.
Yeah, leave them alone. Right.
We make light of everything happening in Trinidad. We like to allude to all sorts of silly things. That's the real cause of it. That's
Mhm.
already going on there, and that's
Mhm.
how we will talk in all local.
Yeah.
Joke and humor.
Yeah, well, speaking of regional issues and Easter weekend, we had the Carifta Games over the Easter weekend here in the Bahamas. I guess you heard about that as well, right?
Yes, I was trying to follow it a bit because we had our Trini teams.
Yeah.
Had some. We know some people that actually participated in the games,
Mhm.
cycling, what have you, and
Mhm.
we were supporting our people, our red black and white in
Yes,
Bahamas.
yes. Well, of course, Jamaica won. They overall won 78 medals, 40 gold and 22 silver and 16 bronze. The Bahamas was second with 10 gold, 13 silver and 23 bronze. And Trinidad and Tobago was third, actually, with 25 total medals, 9 gold, 10 silver, and 12 bronze. I guess there's no way in beating Jamaica in any of these sports, right? There's
No,
just
I mean, Jamaica is usually on top when it comes to the world platform. Imagine,
yeah.
they got vipers. So we don't even have to try it at small games like Carifta and Pan Am and things like it. It's a small prize. This is just a walk in the park for them, I think.
Yeah. Until they come up to the Cubans, right? Because apparently the Cubans have facilities and training regimens more stricter than them. So, but that's the thing. I think because Jamaica puts a lot of emphasis in this, don't they? They have sports academies, don't they? And they pick these people up when they're very, very young and they develop them. They develop their talent very, very young. And I wish all the other Caribbean countries would take a page out of Jamaica's book, because that's how they got Usain Bolt. That's how they have Shelly Ann Fraser Price. And was it Elaine Thompson, Hera? They develop them, but they're very, very young. And they make sure that they have training on the ground in Jamaica where they don't have to go to college to get training, because most of our athletes in the Bahamas, we have to go to college to get that extra training. But you could do your training right there in Jamaica.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's an understanding of where sports falls in your economic system of things as well. Most of our actually Trinidadians do go to Jamaica for training if they want to become. Yes, a lot of the regional, a lot of the islanders, they do go to Jamaica because they've got the coaching facilities, they've got that to encourage competitiveness. What you want to encourage in developing in any athlete in any field like that is competitiveness. And Jamaica is our regional stomping grounds to get that kind of exposure and experience. You see, any Caribbean nation and any youth that has that exposure, athletic exposure, they want to be in Jamaica. They go to Jamaica. The next place would be Atlanta and Florida and universities there, where they, get to compete against the United States athletes, and they get training a little more, professional.
Well, I'll tell you something, Kim. Bahamians don't think about going to Jamaica. We go straight to the United States, where they have all the colleges and all the world-class athletes. We just don't think about going. And that's the thing about Bahamians. We're kind of stuck up, we're kind of snobbish. We don't travel south. We only travel north. Yeah, we're kind of snobbish.
Down and the rest of us down the archipelago. We don't.
Yeah, we don't do it. Yeah, we just don't do it. We just don't consider everybody else down the rest of the Caribbean. That's a shame, I think. But we just don't consider the rest of the Caribbean. We prefer to go to the United States or Canada. It's true.
Too influenced by the North American ways, I think.
Yes. We don't play, even though cricket is our national sport, we don't play cricket at all. We play baseball.
Yeah, I know. And y'all actually supply sportsmen to American baseball teams and their even their football clubs. That's American football, not soccer.
Yes.
I know you all things a lot more than the rest of us. Yeah, cricket is big. I do love my cricket. I do love my 20 matches.
I couldn't tell you how to play cricket, Kim. I'm not going to lie to you. I couldn't tell you how the first thing happens. When I was in the UK, one of my Indian friend, he tried to get me into cricket. He was sitting there interested in the game. He was looking at it and smiling and looking at me, seeing if I was enjoying cricket. I was like, God, I don't know what the hell's going on here, man. I don't know what's going on, buddy. I couldn't tell you.
I don't understand anything with baseball. I may see some resemblance with the innings and what have you when it comes to cricket, but I see them running the entire square, the perimeter of the field, and I could never get that. Or running back and forth between two batsmen, and that's it. I don't understand why is it they have to run the entire perimeter of the field for baseball. Never understood that, never got it. What's the sense in that? And then you strike out and all of this. Okay, no.
Yeah, it takes a bit of studying to get used to it, Yeah, I know. I guess I'll probably have to learn cricket. I could have to learn baseball.
Baseball is much longer. It's a longer version compared to cricket. Yes. I mean, we've got Test cricket, which lasts days. That's the original version. Then we came down to the one day international, which is 50 overs, and that used to be fun. That used to be exhilarating. You're out there, it's like a big party, the entire stadium roaring.
Mhm.
Then they brought it down to even smaller format. I think Stanford, he brought out that in Barbados, and we came up with the T20, 2020,
Yeah.
which is 20 overs. It's a shorter time. I think it goes on for at least 3 to 4 hours,
Mhm.
depending on how the team scores.
Mhm.
That's even a more fun format of the game, and I enjoy that. That's taken over the
Mhm.
sport last decade or so.
Okay. This is the same Alan Stanford who was arrested in the United States for. Okay, I was wondering.
He brought that to the Caribbean. I think it was already happening
Mm,
in the international leagues, because Trinidad and Tobago, we played in India in 2009 and we won.
mm,
Right. And I think we were, I can't remember what we were, the name of our team then. And that's how the region got into it a little more.
okay. That's cool.
But like, cricket is an excuse for a good old party in the Caribbean. It's fun, you thing is, when you're coming down to the last innings and
Mhm,
you've got the score, you could either hit a 6, hit a 4,
mhm,
and it's out of the stadium and you win. And the
mhm.
entire stadium goes in uproar, and that is what makes it fun.
Clearly people are enjoying it, man. So clearly it's something that we're missing. And I
Yeah,
would love to find out what's going on with it, like how I got into soccer or football. I got into football by accident, Even though I played it when I was a child in high school and primary school, I didn't really get into it until I got to maybe to an adult. And I said, wow, I said, this game is fun. I see why everyone's so mad about football. Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting. It's not, it was what, 90
Mhm.
minutes
Yeah, 90 minutes. Yep.
in football,
Mhm.
soccer as well. But that's fun. I grew up watching football. My dad and my uncles, they followed the World Cup.
Mhm.
And then we began following the UEFA Champions League, the
Mhm.
European Champions League, La Liga, which is the Spanish league.
Mhm.
And then we had CONCACAF, through the exposure with Jack Warner and all of that. So football was, something.
When I first started to talk football, when I went to school in South Florida, because they had a lot of Caribbean people there as well. I used to talk about football there. When I first started really watching, I used to talk about Rangers and Celtics. I didn't realize that Rangers and Celtics, they were like the trash league, the trash Scottish league, right? And everyone was talking about Manchester United and Chelsea, right? But I'm talking about Celtic and Rangers. It's like, what, Celtic and Rangers? You already, that's trash. You already, what are you talking about?
American teams, not so Rangers.
Pardon?
I think Rangers is American, right?
No, Celtics and Rangers, that's a Scottish league. The
Oh my
Scottish league, yeah.
That's below everyone else's
I know
radar.
nobody watches that. Nobody watches that. But that's what they played here in the Bahamas, right? They played the Scottish League here in the Bahamas. That shows you how interested we were in it. I bet you it was some kind of expat who was paying for that. But in our cable station, but we weren't watching Manchester United and Chelsea. It wasn't until I went to the UK I started to watch Manchester and Chelsea and Man United. I said, oh wow, this is real football. I came there at the era of David Beckham was already gone. Wayne Rooney was really starting to light up the field. Wayne Rooney and Didier Drogba. He was with Chelsea. He started to light up the field. And I said, "Wow, this is what real football is."
I enjoyed when I was a fan of Real Madrid, so I had Real liked Raul and
Mhm.
Figo and those guys.
Okay.
Then we were following
And Ronaldo played for them for a while too, didn't he?
Zidane as well. Yeah, Ronaldo played there for a bit, and
Yeah.
then there was a Ronaldinho who played for Barcelona.
Yes. He was my favorite player, man, Ronaldinho. But he never got the respect. Everyone kept on looking at Ronaldo and Messi, but they never really took Ronaldinho seriously. But he was a wizard on the field, man. Ronaldinho was the best.
And then, I mean,
Exciting.
I got caught up with work and I couldn't follow it on the evenings. When the guys were having their limes and stuff, I was away from all of that.
Okay. They send you inside, hey.
Working, chasing stories found in the pavement.
Yeah,
But
okay.
they were having their limes on Thursday evenings when games are going on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mm.
The thing is, they were able to catch up with their schoolwork and stuff faster than me, I think, and I just needed to focus on what I needed to focus on.
Yeah.
guys have a way. It's like, okay, this is important right now. Football is important. We're gonna watch football. I don't care about paper due tomorrow.
Yeah,
Things like
yeah. I got you. I got you. Makes sense. But yeah, it's a real interesting sport, man. I'm glad I took an interest in it, and watching the World Cup every year. Like I'm some kind of avid soccer fan, but I do love soccer. I do watch football.
I think it's about time that the region really gets it together when it comes to sports tourism. We're talking about Carifta Games in Bahamas,
Yes.
and really, governments and people usually often invest heavily in these facilities and things like that. And if we
Yes.
were to really capitalize on it, Jamaica has capitalized on it within the region through
Mhm.
Caracas.
Mhm.
Their neighbors coming across there for training and things like that. If we
Yes.
were to take it serious, it
Yes.
is something economically viable for a lot of countries.
Yes.
It's about
That's-
time that we really look outside of the usual tourism avenues.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of which, Lord Sebastian Coe, the head of the World Athletics Forum, was here as well. The World Athletics Association, Lord Sebastian Coe, he said this is the best Carifta he's ever been to ever.
Wow.
He said that. Yeah.
You bring the spotlight on things like that, or a
Yes.
country. Who knows when we might be able to host an Olympics.
Yes.
Olympics
Yes.
will, yeah, though.
You know,
I don't think the country can do that, but if we can at least host it.
No. We can't do that. That's a big deal, Kim. I spoke to our B3As, our Bahamas Athletic Association president, just about 3 weeks ago when I went right before Carifta came, and he said, Yuri, that's going to take a lot of doing to get even the Commonwealth Games here, the Pan Am Games here, those regional games here. We can't do nothing, but we can't do anything more than that.
Trinidad is hosting Commonwealth Youth Games in
Yeah, that's
August.
the youth games though, not the actual Commonwealth Games. That's the youth games. Yeah, that's something different. The Commonwealth Games is a big event, I don't think any Caribbean country is ready for the Commonwealth Games as yet. No, they're not. That's not ready.
I mean, the Commonwealth Youth Games, I'm seeing how much it's taken up over here in Trinidad.
Yes.
Because in the last 2 years or so, agreements were signed with ensuring that there's enough hotel space for that period. They want to ensure all the hotels are secured for that period at least.
Yes.
It's taken quite a good bit of money, and the thing is, July, August, it's not peaks. It's peak season in a sense. It's summer. Summer for the foreigners. They want to come to the islands and they want to come and visit. Countries like us. Even though Trinidad is probably at the bottom of the list, but still, hotel rooms do get used up, utilized, and filled up.
Yes.
On a weekend without an event like that, and it's full. The pool sides are full because locals even have flocked to it as well.
Yeah. You want to come there? Actually, at the end of the Carifta Games, we were actually letting people in for free. You would have gotten for free. That's how much we wanted people to come out to the games.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that a huge crowd was there.
Well, that's good. I mean, population of Bahamas. I mean, if we were to have done that in Trinidad, I think it would have been free for all. I mean, I've gone to some games we have here in Trinidad. As a reporter, our stations usually cover things like Southern games. It's usually packed out. You can't get a park. It's spilling all over. The stands are full, and it's usually like a 4-day event. And that's just one event. And that's a small regional event where it's promoting half the country's athletes. It's not promoting all the athletes in our country.
Yeah. And speaking about all the athletes, Kim, there was also the Carifta Swimming Championships as well, held around the same time, but this time in Curacao. And the Bahamas came out number 1 in that. So we beat Jamaica and everybody else in the Bahamas in the swimming championships. So overall, we have the most medals if you count the swimming.
It pays to be surrounded by water in that sense in the Bahamas.
But all the Caribbean countries are surrounded by water, Kim. All the Caribbean countries are,
Y'all are smaller islands, and the water is just easier accessible. I've seen like on one side of the island, and the other side there's water right there, and you could either jump across either one.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something though. The investment into swimming in the Bahamas has really gone up over the last, I would say, 10 years. People have really gotten into it. We have large sponsors and a lot of big time Bahamian officials. They're involved in the swimming, like how they involved with track and field, even more so than track and field. Because we have like big names involved, And they're really, spending a lot of money making sure our swim team gets the kind of attention they need so they could actually compete on a world level. So hopefully we'll field a Olympic gold medalist soon. Like how we have a track and field, we have gold medalists here with track and field. Maybe we'll have a swimming gold medalist soon.
I mean, to invest in an Olympic-sized swimming pool is something. I've seen of those swimming pools. It's not easy feat to invest in one of those and the depths of it as well.
Yeah.
The training facilities it takes. I mean, that's really something. Anyone who I often wished I had gotten the opportunity. I was a swimmer as a child and I was training. That let's push Kimberly to be a swimmer. Parents say no, focus on your schoolwork. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, be smarter. Be a smart girl.
I think I would have been a really good swimmer representing Trinidad. I would have loved that. In my I sometimes the conversation does come up and I would remind them, it's like, I could have been a regional swimmer. I could have at least represented Trinidad somewhere. Yeah. But talking about swimming, we have these other issues with our waters in Trinidad and Tobago right now. Fishermen in Tobago actually calling for both governments of between Barbados and Trinidad to intervene in the whole matter. It's risen its head once again. The flying fish scenario. Fishermen are alleging that Barbadian fishermen are entering our waters and overfishing the flying fish population. So you look at the distance, there's an agreement between both countries when it comes to how much you're allowed. You actually supposed to have paid a fee, I believe, of $800, I think, and how many times you're allowed to enter the waters and how much you're allowed to take away. But, it's been happening in recent weeks. I'm not too sure as to why. And the Tobago fishermen, and they are now threatening to actually go to the Barbadian embassy in Port of Spain and protest. They're
going the wrong direction. They have to go to arbitration, because it's funny you mentioned this, because this was a case in my public international law course last semester where those maritime boundaries really need to be clarified a bit more, because apparently the EEZ zone, the economic zone that extends from Barbados, it actually overlaps with Trinidad's EEZ zone, economic zone. And so that's where the conflict really is. So people really don't know, and they're crossing over from Trinidad to Barbados. And so this is something that needs to go to the World Court. Actually, this have to be arbitrated properly. We'll never get a dispute, and we never get a resolution out of this until it's actually arbitrated properly in front of the World Court.
I think the fishermen, they're calling for the Coast Guard to be a little more efficient there. At least all Coast Guard to be a little more efficient when it comes to protecting our maritime resources and things like that. Well,
you guys need a defined boundary. That's what needs to happen first, because I don't think the boundary's ever been settled, hasn't it? It's still like a murky kind of boundary line.
I believe, not too sure, but there was some kind of relation that was established way back in the 70s, I believe. It's been there. It's something that was understood, but it over the years people forget, and it comes up ever so often. And today is such a day that it's back to there again. Governments intervene and they say something, and you need statements. So they've been calling for statements to be made that will give them some kind of confidence and peace, amicable.
Hopefully you guys can work it out without having to go to the ICC, but let's hope you guys can actually work that out.
I remember it going back to back in 2002, I believe, where they were caught in Trinidad waters, and it was like a few hundreds, and the Coast Guard apprehended them and things like that. I think it calls for United Nations conventional law to talk about the territories and what have you. I guess you said the arbitration court.
Yes.
What happened?
You need to go to arbitration.
Both fishing, the fishing association for each country, because Tobago has their Fisher Folk Association, and so does Barbados. Barbados has their National Union of Fisher Folk Organization, and they said each one, for Tobago, they said they're coming to Trinidad to talk about it and get some attention. because they've been calling for the prime minister to say something. And
Mm-hmm.
that the Barbados Fisherfolk Association, they're also saying that they're waiting for their prime minister to say something. Until the government of Barbados says something, they're not going to intervene.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm hearing that apart from that, there's some new agreements with, through CARICOM, there's permissions to fish and things like that. So apart from the economic zones,
Mhm.
they've got to look at what they can do. I think the CSME allows for a certain extent of that. It
Mhm.
actually falls under the CSME. That's what I've been hearing here, at least in
Yeah.
Trinidad.
And these are some of the things that CSME was supposed to settle, but I guess it's not really a functioning mechanism as yet, Kim. And that's sad for the CSME, and it had such high hopes. And even it can't solve even the basic problems that we have in the region, man. So hopefully, its mechanisms can actually work out for the better.
We hope so. I mean, I always look at it was a big learning lesson for me when it comes to each government taking the CSME taking it seriously in the
Mhm.
sense that they apply it to their policies and their laws and not just take it for granted. People usually look, oh, but CSME is there, it's not doing anything for us. Why is it not doing anything for us? It's because our governments have not implemented it and incorporated it into local law. That's why we're not seeing the effects and impacts on it on the everyday average Joe living in each Caribbean island.
Yeah, that's where it is, Kim. I think only how many countries have actually ratified the CSME? Only Trinidad and Barbados have they, and Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody else really ratified it. That's sad.
I think most of them are taking little bits and pieces. It's how they see themselves benefiting from it.
Yes.
Within Trinidad and Jamaica, we're benefiting from the trade of labor. Because I told you, Trinidad benefits from having a lot of labor coming from Jamaica when it comes to security and things like that.
Okay. I think Carla Barnett, she's the executive director of CARICOM. Yeah, she said when she came, she is the executive director, right? I'm saying that right?
Dr. Carla Barnett, Secretary.
Yeah, Dr. Carla Barnett. Yeah, she said when she first came to office that countries who haven't signed on to the CSME, they don't have to sign on to the whole thing carte blanche. They can sign on the pieces they want. They can actually integrate it work inch by inch into their systems. So you don't have to sign the whole thing right off the back. And so I found it so mature that she took that position for when she first came into office. And that's the kind of mature leadership that we need. You don't have to sign the whole thing right away. You don't have to sign to the whole thing. Sign on bit by bit. You don't want the free movement label. Okay, fine. Sign to the fisheries agreement first. And then we try to work on everything else, That makes sense.
Yeah, CSME members, there are 12 members, 12 countries signed on. But it's for them they've all signed on to it, but it's to really incorporating it. Labor laws into their foreign affairs laws and policies that govern their countries in such a way.
They have to actually ratify the treaties in their parliaments. And I think only Jamaica and Trinidad has done that, right? And Barbados have done that, right? They've ratified the treaty. Bahamas hasn't. We're just an observer.
Bahamas has not. I think according to my knowledge, I believe all 12 countries actually signed on to it. But they've ratified for it, but it's still a work in progress for each country.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. So they're stalling. So they signed, but that's a legally binding agreement, Kim. I mean, if they sign on, if they pass it in Parliament, they'd be signing on the CSME. Then that's a lead. You could actually countries who have signed on to could actually start to hold other countries accountable for it.
For sure, definitely. I mean, I think every CARICOM you see that. So last year, Trinidad actually ratified a good bit of it in all labor laws. That was only last year. Because it has to go to each country's parliament and draft legislation and work it and explain it and everything, because people don't want these other islanders coming in and taking jobs or anything like that.
Xenophobia. I know, right?
You protect your country first. But it is there in a sense that I think you can, there's the whole trade agreement. It works in trading sense.
Yeah.
The external tariffs and what have you that collectively for as a region.
Yeah, I think so. I think we all could benefit from increased trading between each other,
So I think phase 2 deals with the whole taxation systems and all that. So we'll see. I mean, everything is a work in progress. I know it's been how many years? You- I honestly look at our countries in a sense that these things would have arisen after a post-independence era. And with still member states attaining their independence,
Mhm.
they've got to come to their own senses and get to their own economic policies, their own footing.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
finally grasp yourself as a nation, which all territories are very young in that sense,
Mhm.
young nations
Mm.
in that sense.
Mm.
So it's I think we've still come a good bit far in where we are as a region.
Mhm.
CARICOM is one of those unifying bodies that has withstood a lot compared to other regional um, entities. I don't think Latin America has such a strong or long-lasting agreement with all their member states. What
No,
member?
no. You have a few agreements. You have things like Mercosur, but that's not really, and it only works for certain countries in Latin America, the Mercosur agreement. But nothing like the CARIFTA and the CSME that, at least how lofty the CSME and the CARIFTA was supposed to be. Because that's all the CSME, the CSME is an extension of the CARIFTA. And the CARIFTA was signed back in the 70s. And that's really what it's supposed to be. And that's what the treaty is, the treaties of Chaguaramas.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be just that's CARIFTA. People think that CARIFTA is just these games, CARIFTA is more than just the games. CARIFTA was supposed to be the whole kit and caboodle, the whole integration of the Caribbean islands.
I think the Caribbean Free Trade Association. That's
Yeah,
what it's
right.
about.
Yeah. See,
So
Kim, you know more than me. You're so intelligent, Kim.
we study these things in social studies in primary school. We have to remember to regurgitate it for the rest of our lives.
You did. Okay. We didn't study all this when I was in high school, man. We studied European history.
Primary school,
Oh,
actually.
okay. Yeah, like I said, we wasn't checking for nobody in the South. We wasn't checking for the rest of the Caribbean.
You think
That's how I did it.
y'all are missing out.
I know we are.
History and so much cultures and all sorts of things that you have to appreciate us as a people.
I know.
To be part of this, you've got to appreciate the wider sense of all who came.
Yes,
and
yes.
are.
Yes, and that's why we have LimeVibe podcast, Kim, so we could bring everybody together. I'm going to be speaking this Sunday to a white Jamaican, and trust me, she's a hoot, Linda Edwards. That's going to be an interview I have on Sunday with her, and you're going to love her. You're going to look at her and say, "Wait a minute, I can't believe you sound like a real raw-born Jamaican, straight out of Hollis Trelawney." And when you see her face, and when you hear her, you wouldn't believe that's the same person.
I don't have a problem with hearing a Caribbean voice from anyone looking anyhow. In Trinidad, we have that here. You hear a Chinese national talking Trini, that's normal. I mean, in Jamaica, I hear the Yadi. I follow these social media personalities, and you hear them. They come in different shapes, looks, all sorts, skin, what have you.
Yes.
So there's no discrimination. The thing is, Yuri, you've got to understand that us here, we've grown accustomed to seeing Caribbean people looking all sorts of different ways. We don't discriminate in such a way. If you sound that way, that's no problem. Okay, so what? I think it's as you go up north, people is like, "Oh, you're Trini." They expect me to have an Indian accent or something. What do you expect me to sound like, right?
Don't go there, Kim, because I'm going to start teasing you on the Indian accent. I don't get charged for being a racist or a bigot, right? Yeah, I won't do it. Yeah, so I find that anyway. Me shut my mouth. It's like I'm guessing you guys can have a lot of fun on us too. The African side of the Caribbean as well. I can just imagine your conversation when you're by yourselves. How you making fun of the African Caribbean? I can imagine that. Yeah, you do. Don't lie.
No.
I know the Chinese hates us.
You need to get out of the Bahamas and come down south, and I dare you to go as far as Guyana, right? And I need you to go. So actually, Suriname is a lot more cosmopolitan than Trinidad. They've actually got the Dutch, they've got Indonesian and Japanese. They call them the Javanese there. They've mixed with the indigenous people, so you see them looking totally different. Here in Trinidad, you're going to see people looking all sorts. They're so mixed. You're going to think their race. When I met my husband,
Mhm.
Our first date's conversation was like trying to guess what he's mixed with. And I don't think it's like, okay, you probably have a little bit of Indian in you, but I can't
Mm.
guess what the rest of him is.
But he's
He's
black, isn't he?
he's got Dutch. He's actually gotten, yeah, I think his grandfather was Dutch from Holland.
Hmm.
His grandmother was from Venezuela, so she was Spanish.
Hmm.
And I think his Dutch grandfather was actually he was white and he was from Barbados.
Hmm.
His grandmother was an Afro Spanish
Mm.
from Venezuela. They mixed and they created his mom.
Mm.
His mom is mixed,
Hmm.
and then you've gotten him. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, I could tell, but and then he gave up. It was actually him telling me his backstory to his what is he made of
His lineage.
exactly, and that was interesting. It's like, look at that, and that
That's how
is
he snagged you, Kim.
what's that?
That's how he snagged you. He told you how exotic he was. That's how he snagged you.
No, we both no. Actually, our conversation was more faith based,
Mm.
and we had more likings towards spirituality and things that we found common when it came to being, followers of the faith and what we believe is being a true child of God.
That's sweet, Kim. That's sweet.
So that's what our relationship started up on. We found that, and we could not believe that people like us existed still. In a population that's so full of sin and all of that,
I know. Find decent people, right? I know. It's so hard, Kim. It's so hard. Yeah, I said on my WhatsApp today that I wish I've been in love with women, and women have said they've loved me, but I've never been in love with somebody who's in love with me at the same time. I want to experience that, Kim. I really want to experience that, like how Teddy Pendergrass says, feels so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back, and I really want to experience that, man, to see how it is, to live in that love.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That's your reply to that. Yeah, and it takes mature relationships.
No, you replied to the other. You replied to my other post. You replied to something else. It wasn't about that. You replied to me talking about. Let me pull it up, Kim.
Oh dear! Don't say it, please. Don't. So what you said.
Oh yeah, when somebody rejects you, they're thinking that they're more sexy than you. When somebody dumps you or they reject you, they think that they're more sexy than you. And they are thinking in their mind, but they're really thinking themselves, I'm more sexy and I'm more attractive than you, I'm more desirable than you. That's the arrogance in them, I dumped you. You did not dump me. I dumped you. You want me, not the other way around.
The thing is, it's not always about looks, Yuri. It's not always about looks. People who really want long-lasting relationships aren't going to go after someone who you think about looks. Sometimes it's about a personality. Sometimes it's about maturity. Sometimes it's having things in common to talk about.
I'm not talking about looks altogether, I mean, sexy is being one of it, right? But there's a lot of things that goes with sexiness that has nothing to do with looks. It's about your sex appeal, and being attractive has little to do about your looks. It has to do with how you attract people to you. That's what I mean. I'm more desirable than you. I'm more sexier than you. And you want me. I don't want you. I had to break up with you. You want me. I did not want you. That's what they think.
No, it's not that way. I think I replied to you telling you that there have been very attractive men that I did not have. I say, okay, that's not happening. They'd be really good looking, really, really good looking, and I'm not attracted to you because our personalities don't click. We clash totally. Either they're too wild or either they're too conservative.
So you were sexier than them, Kim?
No, I didn't think I could never be sexy with them. They were really good looking men. I mean, they were somehow my husband's gonna hear me. But I mean, if they were really good looking, some things go beyond looks, right? You've gotta attract someone. Honestly, there have been guys that I've been attracted to because of their intellect and how they talk and how they
yeah.
And when you look at them externally, they're nothing, but I'm attracted to them, and there's just something that draws you to them because they have a thinking and a talk, the way they carry themselves, and you like them.
Yes.
That's where you need to reach when it comes to finding love and true attraction.
But women select mates on a different level than men do. Men go strictly on looks. Like we could bypass everything on a woman, but once she looks sexy and attractive,
I
when she's
do.
pretty and she has a nice, she has a nice booty, right? But women don't go for that. You be the nice looking guy all you want, but if you're not able to have a conversation with a woman and you're not able to actually touch her in certain places, and all women are different as well, too. They're not all are looking for the rich guy or the fancy car either. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
You
that's true.
you gotta be able to bring some kind of level of substance into a relationship.
Yes.
I'm not just going to, what happens after bedtime? What
Mm,
happens before bedtime? You want to be able to talk. You
mm,
want to be able to have a conversation of what's happening. I
yes.
want to know that what are we going to do outside of that
Mm.
in those relations? When you're sitting at the dinner table on a date, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right? Because what are you just going to stare into each other's eyes and gaze?
Yeah.
That's not going to carry to a 30-year marriage.
Yeah, yeah, so boring to be living that same person for 30 years and not being able to have one conversation, sensible conversation.
I mean, you've got to have dislikes, and we always come back to these relationship conversations, but
Yeah.
go
That's
to
how men get trapped. That's how men get trapped. Men get trapped by going just straight for looks and forgetting all of her bad behavior and all her pissy behavior. And they just go past all of that. And oh man, I can't believe this woman is a nag. I can't believe she's a bitch. I can't believe I got involved with this woman. And then when they got trapped with the baby and they can't get rid of the woman, they're all around the place complaining, oh no, she's crazy, she's this and she's that. But no, you accepted that, my brother. You accepted that. You played her game and you accepted that. So you have to live with that. And I curse all these young men who are playing this game, who are making the game bad for the rest of us out here. They're going behind chasing these women and making them feel as if there's something else and they're not. Take for example, I was in church this past Sunday, this Easter Sunday. There's a lady who I went on a date with once, right? She was in the front pews, but I was talking to another lady in the back pews. And you could see the other lady after church, she was inching into the one who I went on the date with. She started inching towards us and staring daggers at us. I said, Miss, hold on, wait. We went out once already. I asked you for a return date on 2 separate occasions. I asked you for a return date. You said no twice. So I left you alone. Ma'am. I
And we
thought you were doing you.
Yuri's explanation of his WhatsApp statuses.
Yes. Everything happens on my WhatsApp. That's my life on WhatsApp. I left you alone, ma'am. I thought you were okay. I thought you didn't want to see me anymore. So I left you alone. So why are you now getting involved in MySpace? Getting in MySpace when you see me talking to another lady? I left you alone. I said fine. I didn't cry about it. I didn't whine about it. I didn't make any big hullabaloo. I didn't go around stalking around the place and sulking. I left you alone. You said you didn't want to go out again. Fine. Okay, I'll move on to somebody else. And so why are you inching into my space and staring daggers at me from across the room? Why are you trying to inch into this? When you see me talking to a young lady, you see me talking to the woman. I just met the woman in church. I'm just being friendly. So I'm on this new kick now where I want to meet a new woman every day. I want to meet a new person every day, Kim. Preferably a woman. I want to meet a new person every day because I believe this world is too small not to meet enough people to make your life happy in.
So if you do that in a lifetime, you'll know the entire population of the Bahamas.
Yes. I hope I do. I want to meet a new person every day, Kim. I want to engage in a new person every day. I want to engage their spirit every day. Now, not every person you want to take home with you, right? But I want to engage their spirit to see exactly where they are.
And then that should not be too difficult though, because you meet
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. I believe I've reached the stage of maturity where I can actually accept people for who they are and talk to them on a level without having to take them home with me. I can engage with somebody for a while and say, if I want to take this anywhere further, I can. If I don't want to, I don't have to. I just want to engage a new person every day, preferably a woman. That's my goal for 2023. Engage somebody new every day. Don't you think that's something grand to do?
See, it doesn't add.
Yeah. Engage someone brand new. I've gotten involved in a lot of different stuff too. I'm going to the gym every morning too. I'm meeting people there. I have my archery class and meeting people there. Of course, I'm in school. I'm meeting people there. And then my job as well. As a journalist, I meet people every day. So I want to engage people every day. I don't want to be afraid of people, I want to talk to people and meet people. That's what I want to do. That's my rant for the night, Kim. That's a good rant, though. It wasn't an angry rant. That was a happy rant. Yeah.
Okay. Probably you should engage in something more like the artist world and poetry world and things like that. You might meet someone, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so, Yeah, the arts. I love the arts. I love paintings. I love painting.
People often look down at the arts, in our cultures. They
Mm.
think it's not that important.
No, it
But
is.
I've learned to find that the arts and culture are actually quite stimulating
Yes, yes, yes.
to see. We get a perspective of who we are as a people in the Caribbean.
Hmm.
I think more needs to be paid towards our artists in our cultures. They are actually putting down aspects of our culture through a
Hmm.
perspective that is very much unique
Hmm.
to be appreciated. It
Hmm.
also tells a story of a segment of our history and our time periods in our societies.
Yes, 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 yes.
We need to look at it from that perspective and really appreciate it.
Now,
And
speaking of the arts, Kim, the Caribbean Magazine Plus, our sister company, we have just now gotten the winners for our 2022 short story competition. And the top place winners are David Hamilton from Trinidad, believe it or not.
right.
Yeah. His entry with Kyle. And all the stories are posted. The top 3 stories are posted on the Caribbean Magazine Plus. So you can read them at your leisure. They're very good stories. They're very good writers. The second place finisher was Mark Yard from Barbados with his entry to Kill an Alsatian Hound. And the third place winner is Miss Victoria Wilscombe from the Bahamas, believe it or not. And so all of them are on the Caribbean Magazine Plus right now, so you can read their stories. And of course, as we did with the last year with 2021 short story competition, we're going to compile the best stories and put them into a compilation album, and we're going to release them as The Storm Ends Volume 2. The book, The Storm Ends Volume 2. And The Storm Ends Volume 1 is on Amazon right now, so you can get a copy of that and buy it for yourself right now. The 2021 Caribbean Magazine Plus short story competition. And all the best entries from our 2021 contest are in that. And so we're going to have the new 2022 book out probably before the end of this year. So look out for that.
And 2023 competition is on its way.
Yes. Yeah, 2023 competition, we were going to start it again in September. Somebody just asked me about that. My goodness, it's starting to catch on, you know. Someone just asked me, when are you going to do the next competition, Yuri? I said we're going to do it again in September. But we have the poetry contest in May this year. So you want to look out for that. You definitely want to look out for that. That's the more popular one. You know, our poetry contest is really taking on the Caribbean. You know, it's really hitting the Caribbean by storm. And we have people from Central America even winning now and getting involved. So yeah, you want to look out for that. Go to Caribbean Magazine Plus, and you could go and you could read all about our competitions. Plus, we also have the Tropic Spin Music Competition as well too, Kim. That's going to be in June, July this year. So yeah, we're doing a lot for the arts in the Caribbean. We're doing a lot. And we hopefully get more sponsors, and we hopefully get more people interested in paying into these contests and actually, putting their skills forward so they could showcase their talent. Don't hide your talent, man. If you believe in yourself, put your money where your mouth is, enter into the contest.
Yeah, it's a good way to put yourself out there in a sense.
Yes.
I mean, I know a lot of people usually complain about the fees for entry.
Yeah.
It goes towards you're actually sourcing people that are judging their work, and you get an opportunity to get published later on.
Yes.
It's a fair give and take situation.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's telling your story and giving your I mean, sometimes people need to hear what you have to say in that way. We
Yes.
come from different backgrounds here in the Caribbean, every little village, every little town,
Mhm.
city, country, we've got a story to tell, and
Yes, we do.
it's a good way to and a good avenue to share what you have to say.
And you have something again. People think I'm making a killing from these contests. I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm losing money. Actually, I'm losing money. Putting these contests on. I believe the entry fee is just to keep people honest. Because if I don't have an entry fee, first of all, you're gonna have every Tom, Dick, and Harry, entering the contest, and it's going to be a burden to our evaluators. That's the first thing. Second of all, I believe that if you believe in yourself, you should put your money where your mouth is. You should pay for yourself, man. You should invest in yourself. You can't invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, who's going to invest in you? If you don't invest in yourself, so it keeps the competition honest.
Yeah, I believe so too. I mean, because if you have so many people entries coming in for free, you don't know the quality of work. How are you going to distinguish it? Okay, this person is serious. They've got, you it kind of sets a criteria in a sense.
Yes.
you know?
Yes. And then it's important too, it's important. It's not some old side of the road competition. This is the Caribbean Magazine Plus short story and poetry contest. This is big stuff. This isn't some side road thing that you just, I throw my entry on the side. Hey, the heads is here. No, it's not like that, Kim. This is important stuff, This is big times, you know. We may not be the Booker Prize or the Commonwealth Short Story Prize, but this is important stuff, Kim. This is important stuff, and we're making headlines. You know, when I announced the winners, and I released that out through Arawak Media, the PR company that runs all of this, right? And I released. You should see those press releases go straight around the Caribbean, man, from Dominica to St. Vincent to Jamaica, and everyone's interested, Kim. So we're getting that kind of engine out. So we're putting these people on the map. And the last year's short story competition, we got them involved in the Caribbean Literary Conference last year. And they actually featured their stories at the Caribbean Literary Conference last year. And so we have Dr. Nicola Hunt from the University of West Indies. She's the chief evaluator for the short story competition. And so hopefully we can get her again. But if not, we're going to get somebody else. Hopefully we get another UWI professor as well. But if not, we'll get somebody else to evaluate the short story contest. But we also have another evaluator for the poetry contest this year, Malachi Thomas. He's a part of the Caribbean Literary Conference. And so he's going to be evaluating the poetry contest this year. So we thank God for him. And my friend Steve Russell for actually organizing that for us. And so, yeah, we're making some strides, man. People know what we're doing. And they see us. They see us out here. They know we're sourcing talent. They know we're doing a good thing. So we just want the sponsorship to come on and really, you know, play a good part. So with the poetry contest, we're doing something different, Kim. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up not just for single entries, we're going to open up for groups as well. So we're going to go to different schools and we're going to ask different schools, hey, if you get 10 students or 20 students, you're going to pay a certain fee, you're going to pay a certain reduced fee. That's to get them involved in the contest. That's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing is also, we're going to ensure that those groups get first preference. So if you send your group in, and we're going to make sure you're at the top of the list and you go straight to the head of the class, man. So we're doing it different this year. Yeah, we're doing it different. We're doing it very different.
As a child, we had the newspapers on Sundays. They have a children's edition of the paper. So you've got an entire section that's the children's segment, just like you've got your classifieds and things like that.
Yes.
We actually wrote poems as children and sent it to the newspapers for publishing on a Sunday. I was lucky enough to have gotten, I think, two of them published, and I treasured those things until moving it. Sometime it got lost. I mean, those things encourage children, your development,
yes, they do.
mind, you know, a certain age group, and that was me at age 8 and 9, writing poems.
Yes, they do. Yeah. So get back into it, Kim. So enter into the poetry contest, because also I've got to mention too, we're going to donate some of the money that we raise. We're going to donate it to the Children's Emergency Hostel this year. So we're going to find a new charity every year with the poetry contest. So this year, the first ever, we're going to donate to the Children's Emergency Hostel here in the Bahamas. They have the kids in the emergency hostel actually have a better summer. So hopefully they can get their Xbox and their PlayStation, and they could actually have some fun this summer. So that's what we want to do. So we're going to donate some of that money. So we're giving back to the community. So if you pay into us, we're giving it right back to the community, helping people who deserve it, who need it the most, you know? So that's what we're doing. So we're doing a good thing. We're doing God's work, Kim. I believe in what we're doing. So just stick with us, Kim. I love your help and I love your support. We're going to do a lot more things. We're going to get better. We're going to grow bigger.
Not a problem. I'm always here to help out a fellow Caribbean.
Yes. So we're right at the almost end. It's 9:28, Kim. We're right at the end of it, Kim. So any final thoughts? Any final thoughts? You know, speaking from my stomach, any final thoughts?
He's going to enjoy taking that. I'm going to see if I can arrange some voice lessons for you.
Yes, please.
He'll be able to learn. Maybe he might decide, you know, so you carry a voice for at least over 2 hours. Live television like this, you know. The constant talking won't put a wear and tear on your throat, your vocal.
Yeah. I'm trying now, Kim.
Oh my God.
I'm trying now.
Now you sound like Kermit the Frog, you know.
I'm trying now. I just changed my name too, like, you know, to like Alex Smith, you know, a nice news name, you know, like Kent Brockman from The Simpsons. Kent Brockman.
But Yuri Camp works, right?
Yeah, Yuri Camp works. Actually, I was trying not to correct you, but you're saying my name wrong. You know, it's not Yuri, it's Yuri actually.
Yuri.
Yes, Yuri. Yes. If my mom hears you saying that, she'll come and she'll strangle you for not correcting you.
Oh my God.
I was going to correct you offline, but I said, let me do it now one time, you know, it's Yuri.
Yuri. I've got to remember.
Yuri. And everybody does that. Everybody butchers my name, but that's okay.
Well, everyone usually does that with a Ram Calawan as well. Nobody
yeah.
Ram Calawan properly. They forget to break up the K and the H. Actually, you know, in India, you've got to the way you used to say the Ram Kalawan. There's a way of how to say both letters.
Hmm. So how's the pronunciation, Kim? Is Ram Kalawan or
Kalawan. There's you actually hear the
Kalawan?
difference. You actually hear the separation with the K and the H.
Ram Kalawan. Ka. Like can, ka.
Yeah.
Ram Kalawan.
You actually hear it.
Yeah.
But I hate saying that. I mean, that's been my name for my entire career. It's been my name for my entire life.
Hmm.
It's not going to change.
Oh, okay. I thought when you got married to Carrie, you're going to change your last name. You're not doing that?
No, I never changed it. It's
Wow.
remained Kalawan.
You're a modern woman, Kim?
I never took my husband's name.
How does he feel about that?
He's okay with it. It's actually too much red tape. If we were to go to that, because you've got to change your driver's permit, your national ID, you would have passport, taxes, and all of those things. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's too much paperwork in every different department, division, legal affairs, Ministry of Finance, your Ministry of Transport when it comes to your driver's permit, all of that.
A lot of work. Wow. I understand.
Immigration with your passport, you've got to sign affidavit, all sort of.
So what about your Facebook, Kim? Are you still single or married on your Facebook?
I don't think I've ever had it a single.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been in a relationship.
You're in a relationship. Complicated? How many playing with you, Kim? Complicated relationship.
Complicated relationship statuses often lead to people alluding to
Yeah.
each
I'm only teasing you. But Miss Kimmy, that's it, man. That's it for tonight. So thank you again for joining me for another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yori Kemp from the Bahamas, along with my co-host, Miss Kimberly Ramkalawan from Trinidad and Tobago. And please, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You could subscribe to our Facebook page and click like on any of the videos because it helps us out a lot. And subscribe to our channels. That really helps us out a lot. Okay. So this is Yori Kemp from LimeVibe Live. And thank you for joining us and good night.
Good night.
Outro music. There you go.